Yes, I'm a member of the European Parliament, have been now thankfully for the last 12 years, and it's a great honour and responsibility because Ireland has only 13 MEPs. I'm one of those, and I'm the only one ever elected from the county of Kerry, so that's a great honour. My main responsibility is to pass laws at a European level that make a difference to people's lives. And essentially, that covers everything you can think of. And particularly at the moment, I'm very much involved in laws in relation to trade, so that companies can sell goods and their rules which will be applied to them, etc. And also very much involved in industry and climate change, where we are now passing laws to ensure that come 2050, we will have no emissions in Europe and hopefully across the world. We'll have a clean planet, which is so important for future generations and particularly for you young people. You have a schedule every day, a whole pile of meetings, usually starting at 8 o'clock in the morning, maybe 9 sometimes. Sometimes it's the Parliament where you go in and speak and you debate issues. Other times it's a group level because we're all little groups of our own, and there you'll be discussing issues that come up. And then also what we call committees. That's where you would have an industry committee, you'd have a cultural committee, you'd have a trade committee, and you'd be in some of those committees and you'd be discussing those issues. And then of course you have hundreds of emails from constituents about one thing or another, so you have to answer those and you have to check them out for them. Then people might have a problem with something to do with medicine or accessing funding for businesses. They'd be asking you how to go about it, so you'd have to get back to them either by email or by phone calls. And then you'd have lots of meetings with what they call stakeholders. Stakeholders are groups that are concerned about one particular issue. Let us say it was in relation to vaccines. Pharmaceutical companies would want to know what the policy is there, so you'd have to meet them and discuss it with them and how you can make it actually work for people. So that goes on all day, nearly every day, and we meet, as I said, continuously, except for the holiday period. But it's all progressing. You're part of you're a small cog in a very big wheel, but if when all those cogs work together, we make a very positive contribution. And when you think of it, there was no European Union 70 years ago. It was all wars at that stage, World War I, World War II, you name it. Now we have peace and prosperity, and we're continuing to expand and develop, and we have peace, which is the most important thing of all. So the European Union has contributed to that. I'm contributing, hopefully, in a small way to ensuring that we have peace for people and prosperity so that they can have jobs and enjoy life and make their own contribution, which each of you will in due course. I was very sad and indeed surprised when the UK voted to leave the European Union. They only voted by a very small majority, 51% or thereabouts to 48. So we were sad to see it happening, but you never know, they might come back, because the young people of the United Kingdom voted to stay. It was only the oldies, grey-haired guys like myself, who voted to leave. So they'll be moving off the pitch in due course. The young people will take their place and become politicians, and you never know, they might come back. And I think that would be wonderful, because being involved in the EU is a great honour, there are great opportunities, and you feel part of a much bigger picture than just being confined to your own nationality. We do get holidays. We get holidays essentially for the month of August and also for 2 weeks of Christmas, which is sufficient. And it's a great break because you do get tired of being heading over to Europe all the time. Now, we weren't able to go during COVID, but generally you'll be in and out every week. So having a break at Christmas and a break during the summer is badly needed and much enjoyed. I have a little apartment about 20 minutes walk from the Parliament, because I like to walk in the morning and out in the evening, and it's important to be relatively close to the Parliament, because obviously sometimes the weather can be very bad, etc. So I don't have to worry about buses or trains or anything. I walk in and out, and that's very useful. It is difficult working away from your family, especially when you're away for long periods. And now, because of COVID, I haven't come to Europe too often, but a few times I have come, I've had to stay maybe for 2 or 3 weeks at a time. And that is difficult, especially at weekends when there's nothing on. Everything is closed, restaurants are closed, shops are closed. So it can be a little bit boring, whereas it would be much nicer to be at home in Killarney with your family, walking maybe in Knockreer, which I like to do, and maybe talking to friends that you might meet on the walk and so forth. But that's only temporary. We'll be back to normality hopefully very soon when we get vaccines rolled out across Ireland.